Hey, crafters. Good to see you again. Tom Creek with Creek Bank Creations. Log on, tell us where you're from, say hi. Good to see y'all. I'm going to get this monitor going. How's everybody doing tonight? We're glad to have you here. Anybody out there? Tell me if you are. Okay. We are going to be tonight's episode is going to be great. Julie has been in the craft room and look at these cards. Check this out. Isn't that awesome? She's going to show you some new techniques with the slim card. Here's another new one. I tell you what, she was just a busy bee here. And here's another one. Got some really cool techniques to show you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tom Creek. We are Creek Bank Creations. We're a small craft supply company. We have our own line of dies, rubber stamps, adhesives, papers, and tools. And we're glad to be coming to you right here live from Perrysville, Indiana. I got to turn this monitor down. Bear with me, please, crafters. There it is. Okay, there it is. Anyway, we're glad to be coming to you live from Perrysville, land of tall corn and not much more. By the way, we shot our live video last week from our hotel room as we just finished up a show, and we offered the Slim Card Bundle Special. And we were kind of running, well, we weren't exactly running half empty, but we didn't have everything there because we weren't at our studio and at our shop. But this is the special right here because it didn't really have everything. You're going to get the Slim Card front panel die. I didn't show you that. The Slim Stitch rectangle die, and also the Slim Card sentiment stamp. And that is a regular retail value of $49.97. Sale price, if you buy the bundle, is look for the Slim Card bundle for only $35.99. And tonight, you'll notice on the Slim Card die insert, got some little flowers there. Well, that's a separate die. I'm going to be giving that die away tonight. That's a $14 die.
That's one of my favorite dies.
And it's going to, somebody out there, there's a lucky winner out there.
That is a nice little
when
set.
you wait for the questions, crafters. So
wait
for the questions. We're going to do the questions about midway. And we might even give away a second one too. So with that, what else we got to talk about, Mrs. Creek? Anything else going on here?
You could share that with them while I get my papers. That little sneak peek right there.
I have a sneak peek, hold on here, of some new confetti that we're just getting ready to put out. By the way, crafters, we're going to be in Indianapolis the 21st and 22nd at, here it is. Can you see that? There it is. See what that is?
That's not all of it. It's going to have other things in it.
Those are little pumpkins. There, hold on. I'll find them. I'll try to grab one there. See my little pumpkin? It's an upside down little pumpkin. Actually, it's a little jack-o'-lantern. You see it? There it is. That's what you call a sneak peek. That's coming to you soon. Anyway, we're going to be at the Indianapolis Heirloom Show the 21st and 22nd. That's a Friday and Saturday at the Hendricks County Fairgrounds in Danville, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis. And can't wait to see y'all there. We should have a great show. We're looking forward to that. We just got back from Orlando, and we had a good show down there. We're glad to be back home. Mrs. Creek, are you ready? Here she comes. Take it away, Mrs. Creek.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Up, please. Yes, so we have big shipment arrived, I think, yesterday, and I haven't even been over here to look at it because we've been regrouping from coming back from vacation of all kinds of confetti mix. So we will be getting that together and sharing that with you, and lots of fun to be had with that. And always fun to do new things and play around with new things, and that stuff is on the docket, will be coming. So how is everybody doing where you're at? So why don't you put in the chat if you're, why don't you put in the chat work or home? so we can see how many people are working and how many people are staying home. It'll be interesting to see how everybody's doing on that front. Last week while we were gone, if you're not aware and you're joining us and you're not aware, Tom and I did a show down in Florida, and then we hung around Florida for a few days, hanging out in the nice warm weather there. And was interesting to, we had a hotel room that was like on the 15th floor, which we usually don't have because I don't like hotel rooms on the 15th floor. I like hotel rooms on the first floor for one reason. I'm lazy and I don't want to walk that far. But it was an awesome room on a corner with a view. It was beautiful. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And so lots of people home. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So about midweek, a storm blew up. Pretty severe storm, and you could see it rolling across the city coming at us, and really interesting to watch that storm blow in, and clouds rolling in. And we are from Indiana, so we don't have palm trees in Indiana, and we live in the woods. So our house is situated in Indiana where, how do you describe that, Tom? You can kind of see the treetops where we live because our house is on the side of a hill. And so since we've lived there the last 4 years, it's just interesting to watch when the wind blows what the trees do. Some trees actually swirl and move, and I never knew that before I lived on the side of a hill. So it was interesting to watch the palm trees when this wind came in, the palm trees whipping around. And I noticed that some of the palm trees had a lot of dead foliage hanging off of them. And in the next morning, Tom and I walked down the sidewalk, and there's a ton of dead foliage.
Looks like leather.
Laying
like
on the side. Well, that was actually the parts of the tree, but there's actually palm laying around too. And I was kind of intrigued by that and wondering, why don't they cut the palms off, like when they're dead, like they're there on the tree and they're dead, and what's the strategy there? And I thought it was interesting that it was the wind that blew off the dead stuff. So I got online and started reading about, like, how do you take care of a palm tree, and just really felt like the Lord was speaking to me about that old palm tree and the dead stuff hanging off the palm tree. So what I read was that the arborists recommend that once the palms are past 3 or 6 o'clock, that they get trimmed off if you can get to them, and not to take them off before that. So what gets ripped off in the storm is what didn't get trimmed off. So if the trees aren't trimmed, then the storm comes and the storm blows off all the dead stuff that's hanging on the tree, which can be dangerous, and in the process can actually tear into the bark because that thing's getting tore off. So what I felt like the Lord was saying to me was, Julie, once some things get past 3 or 6 o'clock, you need to cut them off and let them go. And if you don't, the storm will blow it off for you. So the scripture says, and this certainly seems applicable to where we're at right now, Hebrews 12, 1-3. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race that's marked for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. For the joy set before us, he endured the cross, scorning shame, and sat at the right hand of the Father. So just want to encourage you. This is what the Lord was saying to me last week. There are things you need to lay down and let go of because you have a race to run. And if you're hanging on to dead stuff, you can't run the race well. So that requires a little self-examination. And I may have called my mother and had a little crying counseling session about, sometimes you want to hang on to stuff. So this whole thing, saying all this to say, this COVID experience that we're all under has caused a lot of trauma, and all of us have been going through difficult things in difficult ways, and lots of trauma going on. And at some point you have to kind of re-examine about what you need to let go of and what you need to hold on to. So just want to encourage you about that, and look at your own life and see if you got any dead palms hanging around, and hang on to Hebrews 12. Let us throw off anything that hinders us so that we can run the race with perseverance that's marked for us. So just encourage you about that. That's your encouragement for today. And we are excited to be home in the great state of Indiana, and we're going to do some slim card work today. I really wanted to do more work with the slim card, and I came up with a fun little technique tonight that I want to share with you. Did you talk about the panel at all? Did you show the panel at all?
I didn't know. I didn't show
Okay,
it all, no.
so
Actually, I didn't.
Okay, last week we talked about the bundle that we're offering right now with the slim card, and we made this card, and this is the panel that Tom was talking about, the die that you attach, and then you can make a trifold.
Would you like to fly in my beautiful balloon? Wouldn't you like to fly?
So tonight we're just going to work with the stitched rectangle and do some artwork with the stitched rectangle. We're specifically going to work with this card. So don't know how many of you know that last week our niece passed away, who was 45. And then 3 days ago, a friend of our son passed away, who was 31.
Yeah, 31.
So we, our niece passed away while we were gone, right when we were getting ready to leave. And then we came home to situation at home, which is just horrible. Both of them unexpected deaths. So I have been working on sympathy cards. And this card, actually, I wanted to make for Mike's parents. Mike is the young man at church that passed away. And I wanted to make a card that really conveyed what I was feeling. And, you know, sometimes when you do sympathy cards, if you're just sending like a card with flowers on it, if he's a guy, that just seems kind of strange to me. I know you send guys flowers, but
Don't send me a card with flowers.
don't send Tom a card. Don't send me a card if Tom dies.
In fact, ladies, if I were to die and you were all sending things to my funeral,
Send chocolate.
Send trees.
Just send chocolate.
Send trees,
Send
hardwood
chocolate.
trees, white oaks,
With
walnuts,
chocolate.
and we'll plant them.
Oh my gosh. So I wanted to make a card for Mike's family that conveyed how I felt about that. And I want to encourage you about this. When you're going through a difficult time, use the talent and the gift that God gave you as an outlet to work through some of your feelings. And this card has deep meaning for me. And I hope it ministers to the family who receives it too. Inside, I stamped one of our sympathy stamps. May you find the strength to face tomorrow in the love that surrounds you today. So what I want to share with you is how I made this striped panel. So this is just the slim card base. And then we're going to learn how to do the striped panel. And then after I made this one, I had the creative light come on. Do you know what that is? That's like when you're in your craft room and you're like,
that wasn't the Twilight Zone.
It's not the Twilight Zone. It's the, what do we call that? It's the crafting zone. Okay, so this is the same style of card, but I'm going to teach you this little technique with it. Fun little technique. So fun stuff. So we have several sympathy type stamps because we've had a lot of customers ask for them. So we have quite a few of the sentiments that go on the inside of a card that are 3x4. We also have a lot of them that would be applicable for a person who's going through a difficult time, maybe not a loss, but a difficult time. You can look around on the website for those. Would you mind, Tom, running and getting that one that says, I promise never. It's called I promise never.
The rubber stamp?
Yeah, it's a 3x4 rubber stamp. I promise never. It's funny. We'll get that and read it to you. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is we are working, two of these cards have the I'm sorry stamp set with it. This is one of my favorite stamp sets, and it often gets overlooked But I love this. It has the dies included for the big words on the back. And you can see on the surrounded card how I stamped that in the matching blue and then I die cut it with the outline. So when you buy this stamp set, it's called I'm Sorry. It comes with the matching dies. Okay, we put them in the package and it has the big words like I'm sorry, sympathy, praying, surrounded, but then it has I care, we care, sending thoughts and prayers. Let me know what I can do with love. Lots of really good smaller expressions. Call me anytime. So this is a great set to have in your collection if you need to make the
Does that one have dies in it?
yes, it comes, the dies are in the package.
They're in the package.
In the back,
So
okay?
it is not just a stamp. It's a
It is not.
That's a combination
it's-
die set and die and stamp set.
It's a combo.
A combo.
It's a combo. Okay, so you can see the With Love came from the stamp set and the Surrounded came from that stamp set. Okay, so this is one is a really good 3x4 that we came out with that says, I promise never to refer to your illness as a journey unless someone pays for a cruise. So sometimes you need a true like sympathy, but these are funny. So this one's funny anyway.
The Bible says laughter does the heart good like a medicine.
Yes, a merry heart does good like medicine. I'm here for you if you need me. You are not alone. I'm only a phone call away. So those are really good, encouraging get well type stamps and encouraging stamps, and they're on the website. So we have a blog, Creek Bank Creations. Tom, can you go get the actual blog link?
Indeed, Mrs. Green.
And not just the Creek Bank Creations one, but the specific one
you
for
got
tonight.
it, baby. I'm on it.
And Tom will drop the blog link in the chat there. And it has all of the products listed that I used tonight. It has a link to the bundle special. So if you see something that you like tonight, you can go to the blog and there's a direct link there to click and do your shopping. So I think I'm ready to, does anybody have questions? We're doing okay? Yeah, looking good. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera down and we're going to do the surrounded card first. And then we'll look at that other technique too. And I just wanted to share with you this card and that just showing you could totally make it into same design, same pattern, Christmas card.
Did you go out and cut those pine sprigs off the trees?
I did, except for you didn't grow any pine trees for me. So I don't have any pine trees. So this is our new Christmas stamp set and it is called Thanks Be to God. And this particular stamp set has thanks be to God for this indescribable gift. 'Tis the season, 'tis the reason. It's not about the presents.
Are you talking about Slim Card Sympathy Live? Slim Card, is that the one you want?
It should be at the top.
Slim Card Sympathy Card Live?
Whatever is at the top. Thanks be to God is the name of the new Christmas stamp. I'm ready.
No, I'm talking about the blog.
I'm ready to turn the camera down. Yeah. I don't know, Tom. Whatever.
Is this the one right here you're talking about?
That's the one.
That's the one.
It's asking me questions and I don't know the answer. Hang on. Ladies, I'm turning you down. Down, down, down. Oh, sorry. Ooh, you're all over the place. So tell me, too high, too low? How are we looking?
Here's the link, crafters. Romaine said it was good.
Thank you,
Little
Romaine.
high, said Don.
Okay, it is kind of high.
We see too much of the monitor, said Von.
Okay, good.
Bring
Look
it
at
up,
them.
said Diane. Can you get closer? asked Heather.
I love you guys. Okay, yes to all of the above. I see what you're saying. See, we can't do this without you guys.
Little more, said Don.
See, when we travel, we moved our whole entire setup with us, and everything's got to be reset and readjusted. I think I'm
Heather
there.
said it looks good.
I'm crooked though, Heather.
Do you need me to tighten that thing up for you? Can you reach it? Good, right there, said Don. Right.
Don't
there,
even
Don,
move,
good.
said Dawn. There's Die Y from.
Barbara wants it down a little closer. Wanda said it's good. She's jiggling.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so
Kidding me.
it seems like the lighting is not the best, Tom. Can you drop a light down on the deck better?
I can do whatever you want.
Like down in here, it seems kind of dark. Sorry, guys. Okay. I know I still have the tablet in the picture. I'm gonna try to get that tablet out of the picture. Okay, so there we go. We're looking better. Blog link somebody's asking for. Did you get that in there?
Yes, I've done it. I'll do it again.
Okay, so
here's the blog right here.
the slimline card, for simplification purposes, I cut a piece of paper 8 by 9.25. Okay. Now I know other people are giving you all these hooky dooky numbers of what a slim card should be. And to me, 8.
What kind of numbers are they giving?
They're hooky dookies. They're like 3 7/8 by.
Hooky doo. Is that like the
Yes.
hokey pokey?
It is. If you have hooky dooky numbers, you probably do the hokey pokey. I simplify this. I'm making it 8 by 9.25 and I'm scoring at 4. And it fits in a business size envelope just fine. The rectangle stitch dies that we make all fit on this panel and they'll fit on the other ones that other people are selling as well. So we're just working with the stitched rectangle today. And the first thing we're going to do is ink that panel. So I have previously die cut that panel and I am going to ink that panel up. So whenever I do any ink work, I am always going to put a piece of tape down. And because I have a really large card, I'm going to put a small piece at the top and at the bottom. And we are going to we're going to ink this card. So Peggy made.
wants to know what stencil you're using.
We are using the striped slider tonight.
Ask Vonda if she got the link, because I've sent it like 6 times.
Okay, Vonda, are you seeing the link? So there we go. Okay, so we've got our card down. Now here's something that I discovered when making these cards. If we just go to stencil right on top, I do not like the look that happens when this is the striped slider that I'm using tonight. Striped slider here. And I don't like the way the ink sets in the stitch line. The ink catches in the stitch line really heavy, and I just don't care for the look. So what we're going to do is take our stencil tape and put our stencil tape right on that stitched edge all the way around. And that will end up giving us a nice little white frame edge all the way around, and it just gives you a cleaner look. So this is the purple stencil tape.
Hey, how come?
And I think I forgot.
I'm putting this is really peculiar, Mrs. Creek. I have put the blog spot in like 6 or 7 times.
Okay.
And as I look
Not
over
going?
here on this other monitor, it's not coming up.
Okay, so try to just probably honestly because you don't know what you're doing.
It says HTTP Creek.
Okay, so just try creekbankcreations.blogspot.com and then they'll have to click on the one with the card that we're making.
All right. I feel like it's getting censored by maybe somebody.
I would imagine it's because you don't know what you're doing. If I were a girl that was guessing who was married to a farmer that wore a cowboy hat with tube socks and Crocs.
Hey, now. Ladies, do you think there's anything wrong with wearing white sweat socks?
That go up to your
They're
knees.
mid-calf. They're not either. They're sweat
Ladies,
socks.
please type
tackling
no in the chat.
with my Crocs. Now, Hope, now come on, Hope.
No. Type no in the chat. He tried to go to where were you going? To the dentist?
I was going to the eye doctor.
He's going to the eye doctor with tube socks and Crocs. Tell him no. I said he could not leave the house.
Lee said I was fashionable.
Lee.
Everybody-
They think they want free stuff. This is not a question where you get a prize.
Kim says she thought it sounded real familiar. Is that a good cake?
My gosh, stop. Where's my Diane's? Diane, tell them no.
Ladies, are you serious? I'm not talking about up to my knees. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
oh,
sweats.
yes,
I'm
they
talking
are.
about-
No,
yeah,
they're up to your
they are
Tom.
not, they're
It's a
sweat
sin to
socks.
lie.
Huh?
Okay, while we were arguing, I taped my whole perimeter, and you see I have the striped slider, and I'm putting it on in a diagonal, and I am taping off those little marks there, which make great confetti if you want to make confetti. But tonight we just want stripes, so I have those taped off. And when you put that stencil on, you want to make sure that you have the full stripe covering your card. One time when I was working on this today, I wasn't paying attention and my stripe stopped down here. So make sure.
Sandy said she wouldn't let her husband out of the house. That's exactly what you said.
That's what I said. Okay, so we're gonna pick up some ink and we wanna make sure we don't have too much ink in the brush, so we're gonna dab off and then we're just gonna slide back and forth and we're gonna add our blue. And wow, that ink pad had a lot of ink in it. I did not realize how much ink was in that ink pad. So we're gonna do our stripes and then we're gonna pick up our stencil and we're gonna move it down and we're gonna rearrange. We're gonna realign it up and just work our way down the card. And you notice there, I did not re-ink that brush because wow, that had a ton of ink in it. Are they please tell me they're not encouraging you. Now, I did not get, oh.
Cindy's getting mean. She said, how about a bungee cord for a belt?
Oh, does she know you? Cindy, when we came home from our trip, someone might have left the freezer door partially open while we were gone. And there was blood running down the garage floor, and we had quite a mess. And the garage, it's a long story, but the door on the freezer, the shelf on the inside broke, short and the long of it. The shelf on the inside broke, and Tom assured me that the door could be fixed with a, Tom, what were we fixing the freezer with?
It was either a block of wood or some baling
A
wire.
bungee cord. It was a bungee cord.
Yeah, a bungee cord.
Yeah. So I'm just working my way down my card and I'm putting my ink on it. The trick is here, you don't want to get too much ink on your brush. So that was why I'm dabbing off on the side, making sure I'm not getting too much ink on there. And now what I have is a stencil that has a lot of ink on it, and I have my first set of stripes on my card. Now, this is where the Wonder Wipe comes in. And when we designed the Wonder Wipe, we as in I asked for them to give us a 2-piece Wonder Wipe. And here's why. Sometimes you need a wet wipe to clean your stamps and stencils with. But in the technique that we're doing today, what we want to do is we want to wipe off our stencil and then immediately go back in with a second color. If I wipe this stencil off with this wet rag, I am not going to be able to go
with the wet Wonder Wipe.
with the wet Wonder Wipe.
Refer to the Wonder Wipe as a wet rag, Mrs. Creek. Or else it wouldn't be the Wonder Wipe.
It wouldn't be wonderful. We're going to go back in with another color immediately. So I want to wipe this off with the dry wipe. That is why when you buy the Wonder Wipe, you get two. You get a wet one and a dry one, because I can immediately wipe off my stencil, get rid of all of the ink on it, and go back in with that second color. And I do not have to wait for it to dry. Okay. So what we're going to do is go back in with that stencil. And what we want to do.
Does it run your Wonder Wipe?
It puts ink on the Wonder Wipe. And when you're done with your session, you just get it up and rinse it out. And then it'll be stained forever. She'll never be the same. But it's the same concept. Once you wring it out, let it dry, back out. And then you'll be good to go. Now, what we're going to do is take this stencil and we want to put the solid part of the stencil right back over where the line is. And you want to try to look at it really well and make sure you have it centered on there. And then we're going to pick up our second color of ink. Now, we have used our J brush, and the J brush comes unbanded. It does not have this color band on the top of it. If you buy 6 brushes, we'll give you the color card for free. And the color card looks like this. It's self-adhesive. You cut it and you punch it and you mark 1 brush per color family. And tonight, both of the colors that we're using are in the blue color family, but we just used all that juniper mist, that dark color. So what we have is a brush full of really dark colored ink. So what I'm going to do is take my brush off to the side, and I'm just going to run it around until I get most of the ink off. And you can literally see when you're running it on paper that you're working the ink out of it. And depending on how light of ink you're using, you're going to want to work more ink out of it. And if you really want to go with a really light color, then you probably want to wipe it off on a wet wipe and then let it dry for a while. Now, anytime I pick up ink, I always want to test off on the side and see how much ink is on that ink pad. And I really like a pretty, a drier ink pad. So I always want to know where that's at. Drier ink blends better with our brush. So we're going to start off on the paper and swipe our way up. We're going to dab off and go on. And we're just going to do exactly like we did before. Now that blue, the first blue that we put on was pretty dark, probably darker than what I really would have liked. So we're going to have to work to get some dark color going here. There we go. And we're going to pull that up and we'll have our 2-tone color stripe. Isn't that fun? Now, when we go back in, we can line that up right with the stripes that we already have on
Did you tell the ladies what stencil you were
our
using?
project. Tom, I did. We are working with the striped slider tonight, and I just love the way you can make this nice panel
Did you
with
want me to
the
get one of those?
stripe. I have it here, hon. Right here. Right here. I've already shown
Did
you.
you show them?
Yes, while you were having your own little party over there, I was working back and forth, and we're just going to keep rotating and working our way down. So you can see how if you use different colors, you can get a different kind of a combination with it. And then when we're done here, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you a little technique, a little trick that I did with this whole panel. Now, you can see right here, I don't have my stencil all the way off my card. So I'm just going to adjust it so that I can get that stripe to come all the way down. So you just, if you realize you did that, just slide it down, get it where you need it, and go back in. And you can catch that. We're just working our way down until you're all the way down the card. So I just think this kind of a look is a nice way to make more of a masculine card. That was where I was headed this morning when I sat down to make this card for the Whitfields. So we have our nice little panel there. So we're going to take our die. We're going to remove our purple tape from there and take our Wonder Wipe and wipe him off. Now, if I were done with this for the day, I would wash off my Wonder Wipe and let it sit, let it dry really well. We do have another color, so we're going to leave it dry because we don't want to put, if this stencil is wet and we put water on it, we'll have a mess when we try to make our other project. Okay, so we're going to take the tape off of our card, and what you're going to see is we have that really nice clean edge all the way around the perimeter. And that's why using that tape, and you can put your tape on the side and reuse your tape, just gives you that nice clean finished edge for your front, for your card front. And then we adhered that in the very beginning with that undo. So we're going to put our undo on there and loosen up wherever that tape is.
Oh no, you put it on the ink.
right on there, baby. Pull that off. And then we're going to pull that tape right off. So the undo suspends adhesion on the tape, and we can pull that up and get rid of it. And we have our card front, and we are going to adhere that to a white panel. So we're going to take our card front, and the stitch dies are stacked, so you can cut one just a little bit bigger, and then we're going to attach that to the other one. So we're going to put some super tacky tape on the back and attach that. Any questions? How's everybody
Do
doing?
you sell purple tape? And I said yes.
Yes, and you know what? I think I forgot to put that in the blog link, so I can go back when we're done tonight and put the purple tape in the link. Here, take this.
What?
Put that over there to remind me. Put it on my computer. Well, I don't think I put the purple tape in the...
This is really amazing because every
blog
time
link.
I type in a address, a web address,
Mhm.
or a blog spot, it doesn't come up on.
It's not letting you? So maybe it's because you're not signed into YouTube. Did you sign into the YouTube channel? Don't know. Don't know. Okay, so in the background, I have on my card the, well, let's finish it off. I'm going to attach my card to the front. Now I want to show you something that I like to do with cards. We have a white interior. I already stamped my sentiment on there, and it's cheaper when you make a card to work with that white paper, right? So the problem is you have white paper, and then you have white, and then you have too much white. Okay, so here's what I do. I'm going to take my card, and I'm going to put it on my work surface, and I'm going to line my fold right up on that 7 line, right there, straight line. I'm going to take my tape, and I'm going to get a clean piece of tape because I don't want to make a mess on my card. I'm going to run that tape right down that line. And we're going to add color to the front of the card just so we can have some contrast. So 2 lines of tape right down there. And I use 2 lines of tape because, you know, y'all, if y'all hang around here, you know I'm kind of a wild child with the brush. And it seems like I always end up getting ink everywhere. Now I'm going to reuse tape.
Okay, we've got 83 watching. If we get 7 more,
Oh,
if we hit 90,
oh.
if we hit 90, we'll give an apron away tonight.
Woo! Okay, so they can like the post and
Share with
share.
your friends.
And that would-
hit the thumbs up.
that would be
We've got
amazing.
84.
Okay, let's
We
get
need 6 more to give away.
our background. So we're going to take our daydream. We're going to pick up some ink with the brush. And we're just going to spread that on. And we're going to go round and round. And we're going to add some color to the background of our card. And that will just provide us with some contrast so that when we go to put that panel on, we have just that little bit of contrast. So this is one of the things I like to do to add contrast. I also like, if you have a colored card, like if I would have used dark blue cardstock or aqua cardstock, then when I go to stamp on the inside, have trouble stamping on it.
85,
So
we only need 5
if you
more.
use your ink like this, it gives you the contrast that you want. You can stamp on the inside in the same color. And then when you put your panel on, now you have contrast of color. Nice. Just adds a little pop of color. Let's add that stitched panel. So I'm working with the slim stitched
Slim? Is that
rectangle
Slim pickers.
on the slim card tonight. And we're just doing a little stencil work. And now I'm going to show you how I finished off this card. We're going to use the rings die tonight. And rings, one of the very first dies
Do I
that
need to get that die?
we came out with. No, I have it here. What is unique about this die is that when you die cut it, you can make rings if you stack up a bunch of circles, but they're not consistent. So this is circle rings die, and it has all these little bitty rings. So you can cut 1 or you can cut 2. I like to use the big one Like if I'm scrapbooking and I want to make a focal point on a photo, I'll cut the big one and put that right over a person's face. Many, many fun things you can do with the circle rings die. So what we're going to do, I just stack those up and I'll die cut them at the same time. And I have my super tacky tape on the back. So I'm going to pick the back of this liner off and I'm just going to stick it on the front middle of my card. So super tacky tape comes in a giant roll and we're just going to unroll that, put our paper on it, and die cut. And I usually do a full sheet, like a 6x12 sheet of it. And then if I have extra, I put it in an envelope and I keep all my sticky paper together. And then the next time I already have that color. So we're just layering those up one after the other. And then we're adding our hearts on there. So there's our circles. I was trying to go for the surrounded look. Do you see that there?
Surrounded?
Do they look surrounded? That looks slightly off. Let's straighten him up a little bit. Straighten it up just a little. Okay, so for the surrounded word, I stamped this, and when I stamped it on the paper that had our super tacky tape on the back of it, and then I die cut it. So I used that same color of Daydream ink when I stamped. Okay, and then I went and I die cut it. And these all have our super tacky tape on the back. So I did the first one and then I cut 3 more. Okay. So I want to show you also, if you happen to buy this stamp set, I took mine and I marked on it which words were which. Or maybe I didn't bring my actual stamp set. But when you start looking at those outlines, here's the outlines. You can see it can be rather confusing to figure out which one is which. So on mine at home, I marked surrounded, praying, what they are, so that when I go back in to use them, I can easily figure out which ones are which.
Samantha asks,
Yes.
does the circle die cut the thin circles, or do you have to make the thin circles by lining up the dies?
It cuts the thin circle. That's what I love about it. So when you look at the rings that are on here, that's actually what it's cutting. And then you have the outtakes as well, like the stuff that you don't use. So it is actually designed so that you get the ring without having to stack for the ring. Does that make sense? I'm going to stack these together, one on top of the other.
I'll fill into a burning ring of fire.
And I'm
down.
pretty good at he's bored, ladies. At stacking. If you felt like you needed help with stacking, if you put a little bit of undo on this background, I'll do that so you can see. If you're unsure of yourself, just give yourself a little dot of undo. And then when you put your word on there, when you go back in with your second piece that's got sticky tape on the back, so that's all sticky, you can manipulate that and you can get it to sit exactly where you want. So if you have arthritis or you have shaky hands, if you use the undo on there, you'll be able to stack that up. And I don't know if you can see that, but I have a really nice fat stack and I have the ability to stick that right on my card. Now, I happen to do a little other technique on this little thing, and I want to share this with you. This is really cheap thread that you buy at the craft store at Christmas, and it's really cheap. So here's what it's really cheap. I don't even know how cheap, really cheap. It comes in that spool, okay? So here's what you do. This is what I like to do. I like to take this thread and kind of, if you look at it, it's got a little gold, little fiber running through it, a gold fiber. So here's what I did. I unwind this little thing because I'm crazy like this. And I don't want the whole thread. I just want that little gold fiber. So if you unwind this, I have a whole collection of these type of spools in my office of different kinds. Okay, you can go in here and you can get rid of the thread and just get that gold piece. So do you see how I'm pulling that and that little gold fiber is all I have left. Fun. Okay, now we're going to take that. We're going to wrap it around our word surrounded. So it just adds a little special touch, and this makes it look like he's surrounded. So you can stick it in the tape because it's sticky on the back, and you can loop that around. Special little touch. Do it as much or as little as you want, and then trim it off. Stick it on your card. So the surrounded is surrounded. Now we have our heart that we die cut. We're going to put that down here. And the heart is from all the heart shapes that we're working with tonight are from the Hearts and Arrows die set. And it's got some really nice hearts on it. And it has a nice arrow. And so before I stamped that, I had my super tacky tape on the back. Now, the piece that we're putting in the middle tonight, this piece comes from the Hearts and Arrows die set. This is what it looks like. And it's got all kinds of different arrows and shapes that you can mess with.
Beth
Yes.
Schuster asked, how
Yes.
did you get the tape on the back side of the circle?
Okay, so Beth, what we're going to do is we have super tacky tape in a 3-inch roll or a 6-inch roll. So what you do is you take the tape and you unroll it and you put your cardstock in it. And then you trim it out and you die cut it so that when you die cut, the super tacky tape is stuck on the back of your cardstock. So when I'm die cutting these elements, the tape is already on the back, which means I can just stick them down. And that's why when you would hear those circle rings, that turned into such a great process because the super tacky tape was already on the back. I'm going to pull off this nasty pad here and get a clean sheet. There we go. A little easy for you guys to look at. And what I have here is the hearts that are stacked. And I have cut this in 2 colors. I have cut it in that aqua color, the daydream type color, and I cut it in white. And when I die cut it, the super tacky tape is on the back. So I can take this one and I can stick it on my project. And if I wanted to leave it as is, I could.
Samantha asked, does the tape get caught up in the dies?
The tape does not get caught up in the dies. It die cuts clean and sharp every time. So I'm going to go back in with the white pieces that I die cut, and I'm going to drop those in because this looks pretty busy to me. And what you're going to see happen is when you go back in with the white and fill that in, how you get a really nice look and it's not as busy.
Show Cindy the circle dies, would you?
The rings?
Yes.
Okay.
She's confused about which dies we use.
We are using the ring die tonight. It's called circle rings.
There it is.
And this is what it looks like. Okay, so when it cuts, you're cutting that ring. And you have all these rings. So when I
One
cut
die
this.
per ring, correct? Not 2 dies per ring. One die will cut the entire ring. You don't have to stage them, correct?
No, you do not have to stage them. You can cut them one at a time. When I do it like this, I stack them all up and I die cut them all at the same time. But you don't have to do it that way. So you do have other pieces left over that you don't use that are in there too. So what we're going to do is just go back in and drop those in. This is much easier if you do it right as you take it out of the die cut machine because you can tell what pieces go where. I'm kind of having to do the hunt and peck here, but I have the super tacky tape on the back. So I'm just peeling off that liner and dropping those pieces in. And I just like, there's too much busyness going on with all that stripe in the background. So I'm just going to fill it in. So you can do this with different colors and get a really nice look out of it. Got to keep my pieces organized. So you can see how I like to use the pick tool to remove that tape liner off the back, and makes it easy to peel that liner off. I always say stick it and pick it, and you can pull those off. And I happen to be a really big fan of doing this kind of die cut work. I just love the look of it. I think it's beautiful. And so to me, it's worth the time to do a project like this. I'm kind of crazy like that. There we go. One more, we're about there. And we've got our whole piece done. So you can see how this, you can layer this in like this. I actually designed this piece so that you can die cut that outline heart piece, and you can actually run the arrow through that whole entire piece. So that's another way to use it. This is a good piece too to play around with. And that is how we can make our slimline card surrounded with love. And nice sympathy card to send to someone. Okay, now here's what I wanted to share with you. So that's our first technique. Do we have, Tom, do you have a question for the audience?
Yes, I do.
Are they still talking about your socks and Crocs?
Yes. Okay.
Ladies, I try. Really, I do.
I will not wear the white socks and Crocs too.
Did they all tell you no?
Yeah, they all told me no.
Yes. They're on my side.
Okay. All right. We just did a show last week.
So Tom has a question. How many viewers do we have? We have 80 viewers.
80 viewers.
Awesome.
Okay, gonna give away that die. Show them the die. Did you show them the die?
Are you the stick heart flowers?
Yes.
I almost used this die tonight.
Did you really?
Stick heart flowers, one of my favorites. Almost use it tonight. I will tell you, it looks awesome with the circle rings. Like you can take the circle rings and then add stick heart flowers. Almost used it. Okay.
Okay,
Question.
crafters, we did a show. You may have heard where it was. I'm not telling you where it was.
Not telling.
About 2 weeks ago.
Not
about a week
telling.
and a half ago.
Not even gonna tell.
Name the 5 states we traveled through to do the show.
5 states. You know, the reason Tom always asks you guys multiple questions is because it gives everyone a chance to play. Sometimes the feed gets delayed. 5 states.
Nobody's guessing.
You got to name all 5
All
states
5.
that we traveled through.
Well, that's one.
So each person has to guess 5 states,
Yes.
correct? There we go. They're starting to guess. Okay.
Sorry, Jennifer.
I'm going to go ahead and so I'm going to start the next card. And the next card, we're basically doing the same card, but I want to share a little technique that I discovered today. I really like this card, but I really had the desire to want to add glitter. Now, it was not appropriate to add glitter to this card because it was for Mike's family, but Heather's family would be appropriate to send glitter to. And I don't know if you can tell
Kim Schellenberg is the winner. She got all 5.
how this card is glittery and how this edge is glittery. So I want to share with you this little technique because this card is fun. So we're going to start with that same background, and we're going to do basically that same technique that we did earlier. We're going to put our card, our slim stitch die that we have cut. We're going to put that down on our work surface, and we're going to stencil that card up just like we did the other one. And this card I did yellow and orange. We're going to tape that down, and I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to tape off that perimeter where that stitch line is. I'm putting the purple tape right on that stitch line because I don't like the way the ink sets down in that stitch line. So you just cover up that stitch line all the way around. We're going to do the exact same thing all the way around. So the nice thing about the purple tape is that it is low tack viscosity, and it does not tear up the front of your card. So we're going all the way around, and then we're going to go back with that striped slider stencil. Well, that's a little crooked. Got a little hash. There we go. You don't want any of that stitch line showing. Now, we're going to go back with our stitched stencil, and I want to kind of wipe it off better. I would probably, if I were at home, I've got blue ink on this thing, I would probably get it cleaner, but I don't want to put water on it because it'll end up being a mess. Okay, so we've got our stencil. We're going to put that down, and we're going to tape off the little hash marks. We don't want those showing. And we're going to do the exact same thing we did before. We're going to use yellow and orange. So we're going to use the yellow brush tonight and pick up some yellow ink, and we're going to run that right down the card. Now, I want to try to do a softer look, so I'm going to go with a really soft hand tonight on this one. I did not want a bright card. I just wanted some color. So we're just going to go right down those seams and work our way down the card. So it'd be interesting to see. I did these at an angle, but it would be interesting to see if you tried doing them straight across horizontal, or you could do vertical. You could mess around with that as well. Going in. So if you made slim cards, somebody said they made slim cards. If you try to join the Creek Bank Creations creativity group,
Have people been able to get on?
I don't know. I got one request over the weekend that I accepted, and I am dialoguing with our friends at Facebook trying to resolve the issue. So if you haven't tried to join lately, you could try again. And I know
Mary Beth ever get on?
I don't know. Is she here tonight?
Yeah, Mary Beth's out there.
Mary Beth, did you get on? I know we've tried and tried. There's my yellow. We're going to go back and do orange. Trade out my colors.
Still won't let Mary Beth, and Kim Schellenberg can't get on either.
Okay, did you guys try to leave the group? I think they did.
I think Mary Beth has tried about
I
2
know.
dozen times.
Mary, does it still say that you're pending? Maybe I can send your name specifically to them. Can you write that in a note, Tom, that Mary Beth, and I'll use her specific
Do you need
example.
her email address?
Just write Mary Beth down on a piece of paper, and then I'll remember. So we're going to go back in and add our orange, our second color. And we just want to make sure when you go back in for that second time, you want to center that line over. You want to put your stencil line right on top of the line that you already put down. And we're going to go back in. I will try, and maybe if I send an actual person name, maybe I can get somewhere. I did think today that maybe I got somewhere with the request at least, which I haven't even felt like
Pat May
anybody.
can't either.
Okay, add
That's
her.
still pending.
Okay. Because I checked and I have nothing on my end. No pending members. So if you can join and you have things to share, love to see them. It's inspirational to see what people are working on. We're just going to keep working our way down. And I am using a very light hand.
Lois back has been.
Facebook has issues. That's all I'm saying. There we go. All the way down. Are you writing them down?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll send them a whole list.
Beth wants to know what the name of the group is.
It's Creek Bank Creations Creativity. There we go. Now, I have my diagonals all done. We're going to pull off our tape. We've got that wow factor because we have that really nice clean white edge. Love that. Okay, now here's what we're gonna do. Here comes the fun stuff. Are you ready, ladies? Hold on, baby. Okay, we're gonna take our super tacky tape and we are going to lay our super tacky tape right over where that stripe
Tell
is.
them to watch this very carefully.
This is the 1/4 inch tape, and we're just gonna go all the way down, and every time there's a stripe, we're putting a piece of tape right on top of the stripe. This just creates a absolutely beautiful background for the stripe.
1/4 inch tape fits perfectly.
The
It fits
1/4
perfectly.
inch tape fits
It fits
perfectly.
perfectly.
You do have to center it a little bit, but it's right on the money, baby. So if you're inking and you just want to add a little pop, this is a great
Wait,
way.
The pop is just beginning to.
The pop.
The pop.
Oh, got it crooked. All the way down.
Hold on, Eva. Wait till you see what she does.
Is it Eva White?
Yeah, she said, "Want to take the color off?" No, it won't. Eva,
It's
because
we're gonna pop it, Eva.
We are going to beat up.
We're gonna pop it and rock it, baby. You just have to have the patience to put up with all the tape. But the look is amazing. All the way down.
This is what I call high performance taping, Mrs. Cruz.
It is, baby. Would you like for me to do? You know what?
It's a good thing there's 27 yards on that roll, Mrs. Cruz.
I could put this on your truck.
Over 1/4 of a football field.
I could put this on your truck, and then we could glitter your truck.
I'd rather you not.
Okay, we're covered all the way. We're gonna pull that up. Now we stuck that down with undo in the very, I'm gonna stick that tape down really well. I'm gonna go over it with my finger, push everything down really well. Get all the air bubbles out. Okay, now in the beginning, we stuck that down with tape underneath there. So we kind of need to get in there. Let's loosen that up. And anywhere the tape's sticking, we're just gonna pull that up. Undo is your friend. Okay, now we have all that tape hanging off the edge. Okay, we're gonna take our scissors. We're gonna put some undo on our scissors. And we're gonna go back in and just trim off all those little pieces of tape. Just cut them off. You could fold them to the back. And that's an option too. Or you can cut them off.
But then it's going to stick
Yeah,
to your
I just,
to your worksheet.
well,
And then you gotta pick
no,
it up
if you
again.
fold them to the back, you'd be okay. I think it's as short as it is long. I wonder where that expression came from.
Short as it is long.
It's as short as it is long.
Okay.
I said an expression when we were gone in Florida, and the lady told me that she'd never heard that expression before.
What was the expression?
As handy as a pocket on a shirt.
You never heard that before?
No, and I was like, okay. She said, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, Indiana. I got tape sticking in my fingers. So I did not know that expressions were regional, but evidently they are, because she thought that was hilarious. Y'all say handy as pocket on a shirt. So we're just gonna cut those off. Scissors are gonna cut up. Now you want to make sure when you get down in these corners that you get a good clean corner. Trim that off. I'm going to cut those off, last few. Okay. And we still have that piece of tape hanging right there. I'm going to pull that off just so we don't have an issue with that. Now, what we have is this front that we have all covered up with tape. So we are going to take our Tough and Tidy dry cloth. Whenever I have glitter, I'm always using my Tough and Tidy dry cloth. I get these at Walmart. I lay this down first, put my project on top. The purpose of the Tough and Tidy towel that I just put down is just to catch the glitter, because we're going to get glitter out, and you know, glitter goes everywhere. Let's peel the tape liner off of the top. And if you have the liner stuck down well,
It was Bobby Tate who said she never heard of a pocket on a shirt. She
oh,
said,
is she watching?
yeah, she said, that was me. I was told that last week and laughed so hard I cried. Never heard it before.
Oh.
How about the the best thing since sliced bread?
Yeah. So we're just going to pull all those off. So Bobby, thanks for coming and hanging with us on live after coming to see us. All the way down. So on this card, I did every diagonal stripe. On the red card, I only did the outside edge. So in a minute, I'll show you that. If you only do the outside edge, it's going to go a lot quicker than this. Tom, do you have a second question for a prize?
I do.
Why don't you do that?
Okay, crafters, are you listening? This is a two-part question.
Can you hear me now?
Of the 5 states we traveled through, which state did I get the best price on gasoline, and what was the price?
Oh my gosh.
Did you get that question? Did you hear that?
These are such guy questions.
What state did I get the best price in gas, and what was the
Okay,
price?
so I have my whole sticky thing there, and I am going to take my glitter bowl, and we are going to put that in our glitter, and we're going to glitter all that color. So I just put that in the bowl, let it run down the front of my card, flip it over and do the other end, and just get the whole thing covered. And this would be like 1 container of pixie dust. That pixie dust has a ton of product in it. And if you keep it in a container, you'll have a nice container. That's just a Rubbermaid container. Now, once I have it on here, I'm just going to take my little wipe and use that to burnish all the glitter in. And that'll burnish everything down and pull off all the extra glitter and catch it so it's not all over my work surface. That's why I use the Tough and Tidy towel. And you'll see when you rub that with your hand how it picks up all the natural oils from your skin and just really highlights that. And you have that beautiful glitter panel that you can put on your card. So that is how I did the background of the Praying for You card. Do you still have people guessing your gas issue? Okay.
My gas issue.
Yes. Eat and get gas. That's what they say. I'm gonna pull that off. So then I just added the oval die on there, and you can see how it makes that beautiful glitter panel. So when I did the Christmas card, I put my super tacky tape, I inked the background with the red ink. So this back here is just me inking the edge with ink, and then I put the super tacky tape on top of it, and then I glittered, and you have that beautiful glitter panel that you can add to your card. So, we still guessing?
Still
Ladies,
guessing.
hang on. I'm going to bring the camera up. It's a fun little technique. I know most of you already own tape, so you can play around with the stencil and the tape. Hang on. There we go. I'm coming up at you. There we go.
Did you puff that with glitter?
Are you asking me, or did somebody else ask that?
I'm asking because nobody's guessed the right state and price yet.
I put that in the glitter.
I'm glad everybody has
The
a chance. It was
Rubbermaid
one
container.
of the 5 states.
One of the 5 states. So they have to guess the price.
the
See,
state and the
Mr.
price.
Creek is trying to be inclusive and let everybody play
I have some,
along
I have
on
some,
this.
I have some
Are we,
crafters that have guessed like 6 or 7
are
times.
we, can we give them hints less than or more than? We have 81 watching, so close to 90.
This state is connected to Indiana.
It's connected to Indiana. Okay.
And it was less than $1.99.
Less than $1. You know, there's been times when gas has been almost $4 a gallon when we've been on the road. 3 something, 3.79. So that's a good price. Connected to Indiana.
Okay, now they finally figured that part out. And it was one of the 5 states that was in.
So we have an announcement to make tomorrow. How are we going to make that announcement? Do you want to do a YouTube
Are you
live?
talking to me? 'Cause
I'm
watching
sorry,
all these
Mr. Creek's
numbers
over
come
there
up.
working intently. He's like studying it because he wants to find the winner.
Hold it!
We do.
Yellow
have-
Rose got it.
No
Yes.
way.
Sharon Maldonado
You
got
might as well
it.
just like get a express.
Maldonado, Sharon Maldonado,
Express-
Kentucky, $1.65.
Sharon. The Yellow Rose is a lucky woman. Awesome. So,
I think Sharon has won almost all of her inventory.
she must be she must be channeling her inner Creek Bank child or something. We do have an announcement to make tomorrow. How are we going to make that announcement, Mr. Creek? Are we going to do a Facebook Live, or how do you want to do that? Do you want to
We're
send
gonna
out?
do Facebook Live, and we're going to send out an email.
We're going to do a live tomorrow. Hello.
Yeah,
We're
we
gonna
can
do-
it from our home, can't we?
Yes. What time are we going to do that live tomorrow?
What time do we need to do it? Do we
10.
want to do it during the day?
How about 10? We
In the
should
morning?
tell them at 10.
Yes.
So tomorrow morning we will be on Facebook making an announcement concerning our schedule for this year. We have a big announcement to make, and so we'll do that tomorrow, and then we'll deal with all of the questions tomorrow. So if you're hanging around and following us, you want to join us tomorrow, we will be on the Creek Bank Creations Facebook page at 10. I will also send out a newsletter tomorrow. We do have some announcements to make about our schedule, and this is all about our schedule later in the year, but we need to update everybody about that. So thank you.
By the way, also we need to tell them that the SSAT show in Westminster, Maryland has been canceled, as well as the SSAT show in Southfield, Michigan has been canceled.
Yes. So we will be in Indianapolis August the 21st.
August 21st and 22nd.
And
That's right, where the great ones run. It's the weekend of the Indy 500. We'll be there the 2 days before the Indy 500, so you don't have to worry about
So
the racetrack.
if you're in the area and you want to 10 p.m. Eastern time, yes.
Come on by.
Um,
We're gonna have a great time at the show.
Yes, we'll be
Okay.
we'll be there and
We'll be there.
hanging out.
Yeah, we'll be
Kathleen, thank you for the encouragement.
Yes, Kathleen.
And y'all, we gotta let go of the stuff that's besetting us so we can run the race with all endurance. AM, we will make that announcement in the AM, as well as send a newsletter. If you don't get an email newsletter from us, you can go to the website, and at the bottom there's a place to sign up for the newsletter, and we will send it out both ways. We will have a lot to talk about tomorrow. Okay,
Is that it?
that's all.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. And
We'll see you next Tuesday.
same time, same place, same station, 7:30
Hey,
Eastern
thanks so
time.
much.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, sweetheart.
It's time to go. Ba 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 ba.